Okay, Bill, let's discuss a little bit the advantages of buying new construction. You were in the new construction business for a long, long time. You sold new homes. New construction versus resale, and I'm sure primarily you'll talk about new construction.
Well, I had a 40-year career before I retired in new home construction. And realities are we build houses better today than they've ever been built. Everything is engineered, slabs, frames, HVAC systems. We use floating slabs now instead of pier and beam because we learned over the years that the pier and beams, you gotta dig down to bedrock 17 or 18 feet below the surface. And with our gumbo soil, everything is moving between the slab and the bell bottom, and they crack anyway. So engineered floating slabs are the way to go. HVAC systems are better. Materials that we use are better. So, and I've had resales too, and just had to live with the annoyances of it. But new home is, and most every builder in Houston, the big guys they're good.
It sounds like the idea that, boy, they don't make them like they used to is not necessarily true.
Yeah, it's like anything. It just evolves. And look at your phone and cameras, and it just technology evolves. Education and a new home salesperson, if they're any good, can educate you on that. Be honest and upfront with you, and tell you how things are going to go.
I think one of the things people get a little bit confused by or maybe need more clarification on is upgrades and changes as the project, the new construction
Right,
moves along.
right.
Presuming that you're not buying an inventory home, you're buying something going from the dirt
Right. From the
up.
dirt up, yeah.
What's the best advice you can give people about upgrades and changes?
Well, typically the builder is going to make you deposit 100% of the upgrade cost as earnest money. And the design centers can take you through that, but typically in new home sales now, there's not really so many choices. You can go awry with your choices. But I would tell you to buy whatever it is you really want. Typically, there won't be stuff left that don't have any value. Um, and if it has value to you, typically it'll have value to the person behind you. But again, you're going to be limited on what they're going to allow you to pick.
Any tips on when you have a choice, lots, and what the ideal lot location may be in a neighborhood that's just developing?
Well, there's kind of a couple of ways to buy a lot. You can buy an interior lot that's safe, that's just a 70 by 120-foot lot or whatever that number is.
Your typical subdivision lot.
Typical subdivision lot. Then as you get to pie shapes, typically there's going to be power lines, a street, or whatever behind you, but there won't be a neighbor. And the reason why developers do that is to entice you into buying that lot, that big lot with the power poles behind it. And I sold those like crazy. If you didn't want neighbors, a street or power lines are okay.
Uh, I think well, I know because I've been in offices of home builders where folks are just not sure how much can I negotiate the price down. Is there a rule of thumb, or what advice do you give people on how much off the sticker price they can take?
Well, I can tell you that if any inventory's been sitting for 90 days or beyond that, the builder doesn't want it. So you're going to have an opportunity there. Building companies are typically graded on each quarter. So like if you saw a house that was finished in September and you come back and in late November it's not gone, well, they're going to want to get rid of that before the end of the year and before that quarter. So that's where there's some blood in the water for sure.
Is there a best time of year to look in terms of new construction?
It just year end's always good. I mean, that's if you can buy something and close on the spec year end. Buying a dirt at year end, you're not going to get anything because they got to build it. But at the end of the day, it's all about their urgency to get rid of product and your ability to buy it. I can't tell you how many people would come in that they owned a home, and I would ask them, do you have to sell that home? Well, no. Well, they could buy inventory. Where most people just say, oh, you got a home to sell. It's a contingency. Well, a lot of opportunities.
In terms of discounting off the sticker price, let me go back to that for a minute. I don't know if you can. Is there a general percentage you can count on?
No, but because everybody has different costs, it's all cost driven. Uh, I would think that 10% at the $500,000 level is going to be pretty reasonable in those situations.
Any final tips for folks going from office to office, new construction office to new construction office to build a home, buy a home?
Yeah, you got to trust the person you're dealing with, and like I said, there's a lot of good builders, but get the plan you want. Don't necessarily always look at price, because if you buy something you didn't like for price, you just bought a house you didn't like. So, pay attention to the house and the builder and understand they're all different price levels, different features. That's what drives the price of everything, land cost. But about 10%, I'd say you could come in and grab something.
Our little self-serving or selfish remark here. I think a lot of folks try to go into these offices, new construction offices, without a realtor, thinking, hey, if they don't have to pay my realtor 3%, they'll discount that off the price of the home. Not exactly the way it works, correct?
Not hardly. It's always recommended to people to, if you don't have a realtor, get one, or I can get you one. But you need a realtor. There's a lot, writing the contract's the easy part. It's all the inspections. And if you're building from scratch, it's all the stuff you don't understand as a buyer that needs to be explained to you. Your realtor's going to help with your loan. Your realtor's going to help with your closing. They're going to help with your inspections. They're going to help you with what part of town you ought to be in, what neighborhood you ought to be in. I can go on and on and on. The value of that is 100%. I mean,
You mentioned inspections. I often tell people if you're buying the dirt and then building, three-phase inspection is really highly recommended.
and the builders, the builder I was at recommended that you inspect after a year to make sure everything is as it should be. So yeah, you gotta wrap your head around inspectors.
And the three-phase inspection, for those that don't know, you're inspecting at different points throughout the building during the building process, right. And builders are okay with that.
Yeah, 100%. They have it inspected. At the company I was with, the builders were graded on their inspections. The better they did on their inspections, the more bonus they got. So it makes sense to do it that way. And it worked for sure, 100%.
Bill, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.